How's it going, tiny little hot dog cuties? Today is a very special episode because I will be telling you that you can indeed still get into medical school despite getting a failing grade in a class, maybe two, more than two, kind of pushing it a little bit. But if you have one or two, there's still a chance, and I'm going to tell you how you can still have a chance, ways to improve so you can show to the admissions committees that you have changed, and basically everything associated with that. So before we go on, full disclaimer, I have not actually ever failed a course in undergrad or high school, but there were a couple of times that I was worried I might get a really bad grade, like a C. I know in high school I got one C and kind of devastated me. And I know for some of you guys are like, oh, devastated by a C, but I'm very type A. And there was a point in undergrad where I almost got a C, and I'll be sharing that experience with you guys as well. So without further ado, the number one way you can actually bounce back from failing a course is by actually showing that you've gotten better. And if you guys are skeptical about that, like Ben, I'm not sure if you fail a class you can actually get into medical school. If you look at the AAMC official AdCom importance scale, I will actually have a little blurb about it here. You can see that many medical schools overall tend to highly regard people who have upward trends in their GPAs, which means they've either gotten a very poor grade or a failing grade in the beginning, but have showed some sort of redemption story to make themselves a better and more qualified candidate. So after getting a failing grade, the best thing you can do for yourself is actually take more classes to prove that you've only made a sham error, that you have the capacity to pull out A's consistently, effortlessly. Actually, not effortlessly. You should be able to pull out A's by working hard and doing your work. And it might not just take undergrad courses. You might have to do a post-bac, you might have to do a master's program, but you have to show your dedication to improving yourself. You have to show your dedication to medicine. So that means post-undergrad, you will go to master's programs or do some sort of special post-bac to help you bolster your GPA and to show that you can handle rigorous courses. And in addition to knocking out those courses and getting those A's and improving your GPA, you have the Mcat, the biggest mediator in the entire application process. The Mcat is standardized. You're going to be put against all the other students in the United States applying to medical school. And if you can show that you have dedicated yourself to studying for the Mcat and you pull out an awesome score, then you are proving to med schools that you have what it takes to attend. Even though you've made a mistake in the past, you can move on from that. You can build upon yourself, and you are responsible enough to commit to medicine, do what you need to do to commit yourself to medicine, and then become a medical student. And lastly, don't forget to not just focus on academics, but focus on your extracurriculars. Show that you are a compassionate person. You're willing to go out and help other people out, other people who are less fortunate than you, and you'll become an overall great applicant despite a bad grade. And I'm going to be telling you guys about my personal history with struggling in a class and how my friends who've actually did really bad in some of their courses end up actually going to medical school. So during my, I think, 4th semester of undergrad, I was taking organic chemistry 2, and I was having a really hard time coping with my personal life and dealing with the academic rigors in that semester. And it came to a point where I was doing very poorly on exams, and I was scared throughout the whole semester that I was going to get a C in Orgo 2. And actually going into the final, I was a borderline between a C minus and a C. So I was incredibly frustrated at how much of a hit it was going to take on my GPA. And I know 1 C isn't really going to hurt your grade. I've heard things like that from my classmates, but you never know. You actually want the perfect grade that you actually can have. So I went in there expecting the worst. Luckily, the curve was in my favor at the end of the class, and I ended up getting a B. But I was completely prepared and committed that if I did get a C, in high school I would have been completely devastated, but I had matured enough to understand that things like this happen. Your personal life gets in the way, your mental health gets in the way, and sometimes you just need to take a step back and you get a hit and you work your way back up again. So I told myself if I got a C, I would consistently do well in my undergrad courses until I graduated, and if it still wasn't good enough to get my foot in the door to medical school, I would pursue a master's degree and absolutely excel in it, so I can show medical schools how committed I am to actually holding myself up to high standards and being committed to the medical field. And another story that I have for you guys is that I had a friend that I've known actually for a very long time, and he ended up being admitted to medical school in his late 20s. And the reason why is because when he was in undergrad, he actually failed a course. Like he stopped showing up to class and then he completely failed it. And then he had a change of heart. He wanted to get his stuff together. So he just really knocked it out of the park throughout his undergrad after that. And then he did a post-bac. He took over 180 credits of coursework, rigorous coursework, to get his GPA from, I think, a 3.2 to like a 3.8. And that is commitment. And you guess what, you guys? He's in medical school and actually in a top 10 program. Another friend of mine was an art major throughout his undergrad, didn't really care about his grades as an undergrad, and he ended up graduating with a 2.6. And then he had a change of heart, wanted to do medicine, did a ton of courses as a post-bac, and now he's applying as the same cycle as me. He has 4 interviews, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get accepted somewhere. So the biggest takeaway I want to give you guys who've actually failed a course early on in your pre-med path is that it's not over. It's not the end of the world, but you need to set yourself up to do well later on. Figure out what made you fail. Was it personal life? Was it mental health? Was it your studying habits? Figure out what went wrong. Analyze what went wrong. Improve upon it. Make yourself to a state where you never repeat that mistake ever again. Kill it in all your other coursework. Kill it in your extracurriculars. Kill it in your research. And apply when you're ready. That's the thing. Don't try to rush to apply. Don't try to follow the pack. Apply when you're ready. Apply when you're prepared. And admissions will be in your favor. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video has helped ease some of your neuroticism, ease some of your own grievances. And be sure to like, subscribe, share this video to anyone else who's kind of struggling with the fact that they have probably done really bad in a course and still want to get into medical school, who think they don't have any chances. Share it with them. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Follow me on Instagram, and I love you guys. This is Ben.